There are three important networks of pipeline transportation in the country. So, what are the three important networks which has this pipeline transportations are from oil field in Upper Assam to Kanpur, which is there in Uttar Pradesh, via Guwahati, Barauni, and Allahabad. It has branches from Barauni to Haldia via Rajband, and Rajband to Maurigram, and Guwahati to Silguri, and from Salaya in Gujarat to Jalandhar in Punjab via Biramgam, Mathura, Delhi, and Sonipat. It has branches to connect Koyali, which is near Vadodara and Gujarat, Chakshu, and other places. Gas pipeline from Hazira in Gujarat connects Jagdishpur in Uttar Pradesh via Vijaypur in Madhya Pradesh. It has branches to Kota in Rajasthan, Shahjahanpur in Shahjahanpur, Babrala, and other places which is there in Uttar Pradesh. So if you see the connections of pipelines, which is there in the country, that is the three important networks of pipeline which connects the different parts of the country. If you see that, and there's a map for it. I'll try to share the map with you, through which you can clearly understand what are the different places which is there in the north, that is Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Delhi, all these places which is there in north, and how it is getting interconnected with each other. Now, coming to waterways, waterways are the cheapest means of transport. They are most suitable for carrying heavy and bulky goods. For example, it is very obvious when you say waterways, first thing which comes to your mind is ships and cruises. So it can even carry heavy goods and materials. It is the efficiency of these ships and cruises has the ability to carry bulky goods. It has a fuel efficient. It is fuel efficient and environment friendly mode of transport. It's also fuel efficient, meaning the amount of fuel it can get filled with, that much amount of profit that we can get. So it is fuel efficient method. And India has inland navigation waterways of 14,500 kilometer in length. Out of these, only 3,700 kilometer are navigable. Navigable is where can be moved by mechanized boats. The following waterways have been declared as the national waterways by the government. Ganga River between Allahabad and Haldia, which is 1620 kilometer. This is the first national waterway, that number 1. Brahmaputra River between Sadia and Dubri, which is 891 kilometer. National waterways number 2. The Western Coast Canal in Kerala, Kotapurma and Komman, Udayagomandal and Champakara. These are the canals, which is 205 kilometers, and this is national waterways number 3. The other viable inland waterways includes the Godavari, Krishna, Barak, Sundarbans, Buckingham Canal, Brahmani, East-West Canal, and Damodar Valley Corporation Canal. And what are the major seaports? So other things which comes under waterways is other major seaports with a long coast line of 7,516.6 kilometer. India is dotted with 12 major and 181 medium and minor ports, and these major ports handle 95% of India's foreign trade. That is, all the foreign goods which is foreign import and export is handled in this. That is 95% of India's and foreign exchange, that is foreign trade. Now, the imports and exports happening from the foreign happens in this region. Kandla in Kutch was the first port developed soon after the independence to ease the volume of trade on the Mumbai port in the wake of loss of Karachi ports to Pakistan after the partition. Kandla is a tidal port. It caters to the convenient handling of exports and imports of highly productive granary and industrial belt stretching across the states of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, and Gujarat. Mumbai is the biggest port with a spacious, natural, and well sheltered harbour. The Jawaharlal Nehru port was planned with a view to decongest the Mumbai port and serve as a hub port for this region. So the Jawaharlal Nehru port, which is there here, it was planned in such a way that it has with a view of decongest, in the sense it means that there is no much of crowd in this place, and the Mumbai port, and it is the one which is serving as a port for this region. And Mamago port, which is there in Goa, is the premier iron ore exporting port of the country. This port accounts for about 50% of India's iron ore export. And then comes the new Mangalore port, which is located in Karnataka, caters to the export of iron ore concentrates from Kudremukh mines. Kochi is the extreme southwest port located at the entrance of a lagoon with a natural harbour. On the east coast is the port of Tuticorin in Tamil Nadu. This port has a natural harbour and rich hinterland. Thus, it has a flourishing trade handling of a large variety of cargoes to even our neighboring countries like Sri Lanka and Maldives and the coastal regions of India. And Chennai is one of the oldest artificial ports of the country. So there are two different ports also. One is natural ports and artificial ports. And the one which is in Tamil Nadu, that is in Tuticorin, you have natural harbour. And one which is there in the Chennai is the oldest artificial ports of the country. It is ranked next to Mumbai in terms of the volume of trade and cargo. Vishakhapatnam is the deepest landlocked and well protected port, and this port was originally conceived as an outlet for iron ore exports. Paradip port, located in Orissa, specializes in the export of iron ore. Kolkata is an inland riverine port. This port serves a very large and rich hinterland of Ganga Brahmaputra basin. Being a tidal port, it requires constant directing, that is of Hooghly. See, constant movement happens from these places to the other places. Haldia port was developed as a subsidiary port in order to relieve growing on pressure on the Kolkata port. Next comes the airways. Air transport was nationalized in 1953. On the operational side, Indian Airlines Alliance's Air private scheduled airlines and non-scheduled operators provide domestic air services. Air India provides international air services. Panhans Helicopters Limited provides helicopter services to Oil and Natural Gas Commission in its offshore operations to inaccessible areas and difficult terrains like the northeastern states and the interior parts of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttaranchal. Indian Airlines operations also extend to the neighboring countries of South and Southeast Asia and the Middle East. Personal communication and mass communication, including television, radio, press, films, etc., are the major means of communication in the country. So, other than those communication, physical communication, there are other means of communication, that is personal communication, which happens through television, radio, press, films, etc. And these are the means of communication inside the country.